double guard pull has become the scourge of BJJ in recent years. In response, various organizations have proposed solutions to fix this problem, such as deducting a point from the guard puller, penalizing the guard pull after the second time, issuing a warning to both players after 20 seconds of inactivity. But really, the question is, why did the second guy pull guard too? Why not just disengage and try something different on the feet if he can't pass? Like for example, a takedown, where you might land in a better top position, worth a shot, rather than getting stalemated in the guard. Could the problem really be this rule? When an athlete breaks the grip of the opponent pulling guard, and does not return to combat on the ground, it is a serious penalty. This rule is designed to ensure there is action. But the law of unintended consequences seems to have kicked in instead. Watch the following excerpt from a recent finals match at the Dallas Open. This was almost entirely a double guard pull contest with each unable to pass. Now one player sets into guard again, and this time the other player decides to try something different and not engage in a guard stalemate. Rather than being able to pursue this option, the player is punished instead with a penalty. Rule 6.4.3 is responsible for this ironic result, that the player trying to avoid a stalemate is instead forced to perpetuate it again. The origins of Rule 6.4.3 and when it was introduced are not very clear. In the past, you clearly could step out and the referee would demand a restart on the feet. You don't see many old matches where someone sits with the expectation that he can play guard as a given. This penalty gives a big incentive to pull guard first and force the other player to pass or also sit into guard. What exactly is the rationale for penalizing the strategic choice to disengage to try fight for takedowns? To argue that matches would be full of guard fleeing doesn't hold water, as disengaging is risky, making repeated reckless attempts to do so unlikely. If anything, Rule 6.4.3's removal will encourage tighter and more selective guard pulling, a skill which seems to be disappearing in favor of just sitting down. This rule that the guard puller should not be forced to stand up when someone has disengaged, means taking a step further away from BJJ's original combat roots. In regulated MMA, no such penalty for disengaging exists to give such a tactical advantage to a guard puller. To try argue pulling guard is a viable self-defense tactic ignores the fact that in a real street fight, not the sport of MMA, there is a much more efficient way to overcome someone's guard besides passing or ground and pound, namely soccer kicks and foot stomps. Strategies we are seeing in sport BJJ now are simply the consequence of what incentives and penalties have been set in the rules by the governing bodies. Rule 6.4.3 may not be the sole cause of double guard pulling, but it sure doesn't help the situation either. So, is Rule 6.4.3 contributing to the double guard pulls, or is it a problem with awarding 2 points for a sweep, or both? Thanks for watching.